Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Fry, empowerment coach and speaker. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, we are going to have just an amazing time as we are talking about and answering the question, who am I? So for all of my friends who are joining me live, whether you are over on Facebook, if you are on LinkedIn, or if you are joining me live from YouTube, go ahead and say hello so that I can say hello back to you as you come in. If you happen to be catching this in the replay, do me a favor, drop your hello down in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from, because I love to greet you as you come in, whether you're live or in the replay. So let's go ahead and get started tonight. Our good friend Tim is with us tonight. Hey, Tim, it's so good to see you and have you here with us live for the show. Can't wait to talk to you soon. And so we're talking tonight about answering this question, who am I? If you have ever gone through this and thought about that, like, who am I? Your initial responses are probably going to be something like, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a wife, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a sister, I am an employee, whatever your occupation is. You know, I'm a marketing director, I'm a security guard, I am a CEO, I'm an entrepreneur, all of these different things, right? If you're a mom and a wife and you have kids, maybe you're the bake sale mom, maybe you're the PTO mom, maybe you're all of these things, right? But when we think about that question, who am I? The initial responses that we often come up with are the roles in our lives, right? The things that we do. But really, to answer this question, you've got to strip all of that away. You've got to remove all of those different roles. And the answer to that question, who am I, comes when you don't have anything left but you. And what is that? So I want to ask the question to you tonight, do you know who you are, apart from the roles that you play in your life? And it took me a lot to get to the answer to this question, because honestly, you guys, several years ago, when I really, really started to ponder this question, I didn't know who I was. I knew all of the roles that I had. I knew all of the active things that I was, participating in. I knew all of those things. I could describe what I did in my life. But it was a lot more difficult for me to answer the question of who I really was. So, like I said, it took a lot of soul searching. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of really digging down deep and really stripping away all of those external layers, all of the bricks in the walls that I had built up around me to get to the heart of who I really am. And so tonight, as we're talking about, answering this question, who am I? It's my joy, honor, and pleasure to tell you who I am. And that is one of the most fun things for me now, because I know without question who I am. After my soul searching, after a lot of time, a lot of tears, a lot of crazy coaching sessions with my coach, April Lewis, we got down to the bottom of who I really am. And who I am a child of God, used as a vessel of hope, a beacon of light shining in the darkness to lead others to the discovery of their own light. That is who I am. That is who I was created to be. And honestly, when I really came down to that, when I made that revelation, that discovery, if you will, it was something that it was powerful for me. Oh, my girl, Andrea C is in the house. Mwah! Smooches, baby. I love you. I miss you. We need to chat soon. So we're talking tonight about who am I? Answering this question, who am I? Stripping it all down and making sure that you know the answer to that question. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you take a moment and you think about it and you don't really know the answer, it's okay. You're not alone, I promise. There are tons of people walking around here who don't know who they are. And that's okay, because it's all a process, right? It's all about how we learn and grow. It's one of the reasons why I've gone through many iterations of what I do in my business, from just being a speaker to being a coach to being a personal identity coach to being an identity coach for entrepreneurs, all of these things. And what I have finally settled in on, what has come up as the most powerful thing that I can do to use my gifts, is an empowerment coach and an empowerment speaker, because here's the thing, like, you guys, and it's so cool when you really get it. I am literally designed, right? I am literally created and designed to use my voice to help other people find their way. The crazy thing about this is that I personally, the way I'm designed, the way I'm created, I will always battle and struggle with things like not feeling good enough, with concerns about whether or not I'm worthy, with the whole thought and concept of just being worthy of something, which is crazy because it's actually my job here on this planet to make sure that other people know how worthy they are. And yet I will struggle with that. Andrea, boss of a coach. I like that, baby. I'm going to use that hashtag. I will struggle with that. And that's okay. Because, now that I know that, it makes it even easier for me when I hear that not good enough gremlin, when I hear that voice inside my head that starts to doubt, that starts to worry, that starts to let fear creep in and want to take hold. It's so much easier for me to say, you know what? Hey, I hear you. I hear you. I acknowledge that you're there, but guess what? You don't have the power. I know what I'm here to do. And I'm going to do it whether you make noise in my head or not. You guys, I named the voice in my head Susan. No offense to anyone out there whose name is Susan, but I named the voice in my head Susan. And sometimes I have to tell Susan to go sit in the corner. So it's a lot more fun when you name that gremlin in your head. Anyway, so knowing what God created me for, knowing and understanding what God has called me to do. And you guys, it took me a really long time. I'm 39 years old. It took me a lot of years to struggle with this and wrestle with this and fight the whole unworthiness and negative self-talk and limiting beliefs and all the things, right? It took me years of battling through this. But now in this season where I know why I'm here, I know what I was put here to do, I know who I am, that gave me the courage that I needed to walk away from a 13-year career in corporate, because that's not where I belonged anymore. It served its purpose. It served its purpose for me. A lot of lessons, a lot of experience, a lot of figuring things out, a lot of growth, a lot of opportunities, a lot of challenges, a lot of failures, a lot of lessons from the failures. But that's not where I belong. And please hear me when I say I'm not telling everyone in the world, oh, go leave your corporate job and go be an entrepreneur. Because y'all, this stuff is not for the faint of heart. Running your own company, running your own business, being an entrepreneur, it is not for everyone, because the crap's hard. Okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you at all. It's hard, but it's worth it if it is in alignment with who you are and what you are called to do and why you believe you are here. Yes, ma'am. And that's the thing that right there, Andrea, I'm just getting to the good years. You have no idea, honey, how much I am realizing that every single day. Like every single day. I remember when I was younger, I used to think that 40 was old, right? Right? Like when you're in high school or you're in your early 20s, you think 40 is old. Like, oh, hell no, bring it on, right? I'm so ready for it. So anyway, this whole question of who am I and why is it so important for us to be able to answer that question and be able to say with confidence, be able to say boldly that you know who you are and who you were created to be. That is empowering. That is empowerment, because when you know what that is, you are infused. Every cell in your body is infused with power. The definition of empowerment, right, is giving yourself power to do something. For me, as an empowerment coach, like I said earlier, I'm literally designed to use my voice to help other people find their way. I am literally designed to help people be in that space of empowerment where they can empower themselves to move forward. We can help map out a plan to help them find their path forward so that they too can walk boldly into their godly purpose without concern, without worry, without fear of what is to come. Because let me tell you, things are going to come. That's life. That's life. My friends, stuff happens. It happens to everyone. It happens to every believer in the Bible. It happens to every non-believer, okay? Stuff happens in life. That's a universal thing. But when you know who you are, when you are empowered in the knowledge of who you are, why you were created, what your purpose is on this planet, it doesn't matter what comes through. It doesn't matter what comes across your path. It doesn't matter the challenges that you are going to face, because you know without doubt that you can handle it. My new sister, Rosie, gave me something to write down, because you see, as part of my design, I get stuck up in my head a lot, which made a lot of sense when we talked about that. Because, you know, I'll be doing something, procrastination, perfectionism, all of those voices that I hear up there, right? I get up into my head and I get stuck with things. And maybe you do too. Maybe you've got a great idea. Maybe you're passionate about something. Maybe you take a step forward and then your brain asks a question. And then you go down a rabbit hole trying to find the answer, because you're stuck up here in your head. And that's not even where you need to be. For me, I don't belong in my head. I belong in my heart. I belong in my gut, right? I'm literally supposed to stay in my body. I am not supposed to be playing around out there in my head. And see, that's where I would get stuck. And now that I know that, I know when I go up there and I start asking questions and I start going down that rabbit hole, I can bring myself back into this place of being centered and say, wait a minute, Crystal, wait a minute. What are you doing right now? Why? Is this a question that you even need to be trying to answer? Does it even matter, right? Do you actually really need to know the history of X, Y, and Z that I've gone off on a tangent on and wasted, like an hour of my time with? No, I don't. But you see, that's the other thing, friends. When you know your purpose and you start to walk in it, fear is going to come up. The challenges, the barriers are going to come up. It's always going to be tied back to fear in some way, shape, or form. It's always going to be tied back into that root of fear, because y'all, that is how the devil knocks you off your game. That is how he keeps you from doing what God put you here to do. He doesn't have to get you to do anything bad. He don't have to get you to be a bad person. He just has to get you to question yourself and not do what you know you're supposed to do. And when you know that, when you understand that, when you realize that, when you really let that take hold, when you really let that take root, you will know when that fear comes up that it's just there to try to knock you off your game. It's just there to try to knock you off your game. So don't let it, right? Don't let it. So my friends, I need to ask you, I need to ask you, like, seriously, who are you? Who are you? I told you who I am. Who are you? You know, this is me, right? This is me. Um, this is me. I love hard. I feel deeply, right? The different parts of me that are open and receptive and amplify other things happens to be like my feelings, you know. So I'm very empathic. Uh, Even, gosh, you guys, even on like, give me a good TV show or a good movie. I got all the emotions, right? Because that's how I am. I pull it in, I amplify, I send it back out. So I've got to be careful with that. But I love hard. I feel deeply. I have been given a voice of empowerment and hope for other people. And it comes with a heart of gold. Okay. Because everything that I say, it comes from the heart. It's coming from my heart, and it's coming from my heart going to you, right? And it's love. Like that's what I want to push out to anyone who watches me, to anyone who watches me speak, to anyone that I work with one-on-one as a coaching client, to anyone that I have the pleasure of being in your space. If I'm talking to you, you need to know right now, like what I'm saying to you is coming from a place of love, even if it's a hard conversation. Even if it's a hard conversation. I've had clients that I've had to call, you know, out of love and ask the tough questions. And that's my job, because if not, then I'm not empowering them. I'm not helping them to empower themselves to walk further in their journey, right? But it's done in love and understanding and zero judgment. Zero judgment. Because listen, y'all, I have been there. I've been there. I've been in the place where you beat yourself up over what actually is kind of nothing. I've been in the place where you spiral down into that deep, dark hole where you don't even think that there is a light, where you don't even think that there is a possible way out. I have been in that place. I have been in a place with relationship difficulties. Y'all know I've been married for almost 20 years. I've been in that place of relationship difficulties with my kids, with my husband, with family members that unfortunately I don't have relationships with anymore. Because sometimes things aren't meant to be. I've been there with job struggles. I've been there with feeling like there's something more, and praying about it and crying about it and just being on my knees about it, begging for answers. And I've gotten silence. And one of the things that I can attest to in that silence is that even when it feels like you are completely alone, when you're praying and God doesn't answer, and you pray harder and he still doesn't answer, and you don't even know what you're praying about anymore and he still doesn't answer, and then you're angry and he still doesn't answer, one thing I know is even when he's quiet, he's still there. He's still there. I had this lovely little gift of cards. Yes, Tim, absolutely. It is no fun. It's no fun at all. And yes, Andrea, you can absolutely attest. Okay, because we do go deep in, but it is absolutely with love. I was gifted with this beautiful little box of, it's called a box of blessings. It's promises from God for women. And they're little tiny cards, you know, and they have little things on them. But this one right here is just, there's so much truth and so much power in this little quote by C.S. Lewis. And it says, though our feelings come and go, God's love for us does not. Though our feelings come and go, God's love for us does not. Y'all, that's constant. And it doesn't matter if he's screaming in your ear or if he's been quiet for the last 10 years. I'm going to be honest with you. If he's been quiet for the last 10 years, maybe it's you that's been really loud. Maybe you send a lot of stuff out, but you don't take the time to be quiet so that you can receive. Been there too. Been there too. Spent a lot of time like talking out my mouth and sending lots of prayers up. Didn't spend really any time in the quiet place so that I could receive the message coming back in. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, well, maybe he's been talking to me the whole time and I just haven't been listening. So my friends, it happens, right? It happens. So in this, asking again, like, who are you, my friend? And if you haven't figured that out yet, it's time. It's time. Because until you know who you are, why you were put here, what your purpose is, until you know that, you're missing a lot of the goodness that's waiting for you. Because oftentimes we get in this place, and y'all, again, I have been there. I spent a long time there where we are struggling, we are pushing, and we are just trying to make it work. We are trying so hard to make this thing work, and it won't work. And you want to know why it won't work? Because it's not what you're supposed to be doing. When you are in your alignment, when you know who you are, when you know your purpose, when you are walking in that purpose, things flow. Again, not to say you're not going to have challenges and barriers, because you absolutely will, right? But things flow. The struggle is not nearly what it is when you are pushing so hard to climb up a ladder that's leaning up against the wrong wall. Been there. Y'all, my hair started falling out before I left my corporate job because I was so stressed, because I was so angry, because I was so frustrated with how things were going and my seeming inability to do anything about it. I felt like my voice wasn't heard. I felt like what I was bringing to the table was completely not valued. I felt like I was in a place I just didn't belong anymore. And I was also afraid to walk away. I was afraid to walk away because, if you've ever heard the saying, like, better the devil you know than the one you don't, right? That fear of the unknown, the uncertainty that's out there. Yeah. 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 But here's the deal. If you're sitting in a place where you don't belong anymore, and again, maybe it serves out. Look, my corporate career served me, okay? And I was able to be of service to a lot of others. But my corporate career came to an end. And it had to come to an end. And unfortunately, it painfully came to an end. But that was also how I knew it was time for it to end. So friends, if you're in that place, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your relationship with yourself, and you're in that place where you are just struggling and nothing seems to go right, and you can't seem to figure it out, and you have this dream that you have buried down deep inside of you because of fear, because you're afraid of what it's going to look like, because you're afraid of what other people are going to say, because you're afraid it's going to be a failure. If you have things inside of you, if you are longing for things that seem impossible, friend, it is there inside you for a reason. And maybe it's time you start digging in and answer that question, who am I? So that dream, that longing, that desire, that calling, that purpose can come out of you. And so you can fulfill it and walk in that purpose that you have. Because you have one. I promise you, you have one. Everyone has a purpose. So friend, I feel like I've been a little long-winded tonight. So, sorry, not sorry, but the greatest gift you can give to yourself is to figure out who you are, is to figure out what your purpose is here on this earth. Time is running out, okay? It's just the fact of life. Life is like I don't even know where I saw this or heard this or something somewhere. Life is like a roll of toilet paper, right? The less there is, the faster it goes. So my friends, we don't have forever, not here on this earth. We're not promised tomorrow. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the time to be right. Y'all, the time is now. It's now. It's now. Yes. Let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. Absolutely. And make sure that your yeses and your nos are in alignment with where you're supposed to be going. Make sure that your yeses and your nos are in alignment. Another lesson that I had to learn. So I'm going to wrap us up. And friends, you know that I want to see you win, right? That is what I want. I want to see you win. I want to see you be the absolute most brilliant, best version of you. Without all of the crap, right? Without all of the walls built up, without all of the hiding, without all of the fake and the phony and the pretend and, I'm going to look like this because that's what people want to see. Y'all, last week I did a replay with the I'm done, right? The whole I'm done thing and all those things that I wanted you to be done with. If you didn't catch the show last week, do me a favor, go back and watch it. All those things you need to be done with, the pretending, not being yourself. It's time for you. It's time for you to shine. I am here. I am showing up for you. I am showing up as me, right? This is me. The title of this video, this is me. This is me. That's all you're going to get. So if it's not good enough for you, keep it moving. Keep scrolling. But this is me and I am here for you. So if you need help, you can always reach out to me. My DMs are open. You can shoot me an email, whatever you need. You can get on my calendar. We can have a conversation. Whatever you need, I am here for you because it's time for you to be able to confidently answer that question. Who am I? Somebody asked me who I am. Who is Crystal? I am a child of God, used as a vessel of hope, a beacon of light shining in the darkness to lead others to the discovery of their own light. This is me. All right, friends, I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. As always, it is my pleasure. It is my honor. And I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. I will see you all real soon. Take care.